We're going to go get started just because we have a lot to cover, and this is such an important topic. You've all received the email intro, if you will, about John Pretto, and let me just very briefly do an introduction for him, and then I'm going to have Michael Beeson come forward to kind of kick things off. John Pretto has been a prominent figure in the technology industry for more than 30 years and is the co-founder of Christian.com, which I'm sure he'll share a little bit about as well. He's a native Nevadan and graduate of Bishop Gorman High School, which I won't hold that against you. Among his many accomplishments, John co-founded HelloNetwork.com, a Wall Street-backed internet startup that raised $70 million to develop user-friendly streaming media applications. His hobbies include building and launching large amateur rockets. That's cool. And he's also a professional foosball player. So there may be some people that will want to challenge you a little bit. So. But all money comes to the CBN. Okay, all right. And he also has a son named John. Here to open the presentation, introduce John is a longtime CBN member, co-founder of Christian.com, and my very good friend, Michael Beeson. Would you give it up, please, for Michael Beeson?
Hello. Last time I was here, it was all men. This is a lot prettier. It's a little strange because usually I do things that are 18 hours long, 5 days straight, for a guy named Tony Robbins. And I'm going to do all this in about 4 minutes and introduce not just one of my dearest friends in life, but my business partner, Christian.com. I'm going to give you just a little snippet. I don't know if we're going to do a two-part series on this or not. We'll talk about it if we come back. I'll go more in depth with you. And I want to show you a little something that God's been taking us on here. Pardon me? I knew that. I just want to see if you did. Got a real tall guy. It's actually taller than Robin, believe it or not. His name's Tony Robbins. About 10 years ago, had a very interesting thing happen to me. I was quite ill. There was all kinds of, like, anybody here ever been in bad business with Christians? Let me see your hands. I had a big share of that. I had somebody come to my home, pray for me. And within a day, the vice president of Tony Robbins contacted me. They recruited me. And I became his #1 vice president in the world for corporate consulting and working with entrepreneurs on a global level. It was an amazing 2 years. What happened after that is that I think one of the reasons we want to talk about Christian.com today is what the heck do we do with the advent of AI? AI is, by the way, side note, it's the first time I've stood up in 9 days. I've been COVID-free, negative test for 4 days, and I haven't been able to stand up. So bear with me because I feel like I'm on acid. What ended up happening with the advent of AI is it's neutral, okay? It's neither good nor bad, but it's what we do with it. You can doggone guarantee the enemy has a big plan. I believe it's going to be used for the infrastructure for the Antichrist. So none of this is about being fear-driven. But it's about old Bosco tells us, what you want to do with fear is use it to take massive action. That's what we're going to talk about today. Because I think there's 2 things that are paramount. One is the advent of AI, and the second one is what are you going to do about it? So when the COVID thing started, I got ordained. And I went into full-time ministry with Christian.com with my I-frame, my focal point on Christian leaders. So I speak all over the country now, trying to help Christians get prepared for what I believe is about to happen. John is going to give you guys an extraordinary lesson on how you can take your small to medium-sized enterprises and get geared up for the game that's about to take place. Here's what I thought was going to happen. I thought the churches was going to save us. But I'm concerned about the 2 Thessalonians' great falling away. And I heard John Levere do a whole thing on this, and it got my attention. I'm going to give you some numbers to turn this over to John. Right now, according to George Barna research, only 4% of people that go to a Christian church know and follow Jesus. Only 37% of pastors know and follow Jesus. I think it's time for us as believers to come out of the closet, grow up, and be used the way that God has called us each individually to be used. I cannot emphasize that enough. The last statistic I got was from John Pretto. In the last 20 years, 40 million Christians have walked away from their faith. Guys, it is game on. One of the things I do a lot of is I work with global leaders in the Christian world. And I got to tell you, they are all concerned about these statistics like nothing I've ever seen before in my entire life. Historically, here's where the church has been. So if you think, hey, how is the church going to respond to AI? Well, let's look at history. What did they do with radio? Well, like, the devil's on that radio thing there. I don't want nothing to do with it. That's the way we are. That's the way we have been. That is our history. We relate to cinema. We relate to TV. We relate to the internet. We cannot afford to be late to AI. The stakes are too high. So what are we going to do at Christian.com? We want to be the most trusted leaders to help the church get ready for what's about to happen. So we have two different divisions. We have the AI Coalition, which is ministry leaders on a global level, educating them with technology people, world-class theologians, getting ready. Let me give you a quick idea of what I'm talking about. Take any one of your pastors right now. We can walk away for 15 minutes. We can take their video. We can get the verses of the Satanic Bible, and we can have them preaching that gospel in 15 minutes, come back, and you won't be able to tell the difference. The level of deception that's about to hit the church is unparalleled. We're going to do something about it. We have another section that's going to be at Christian.com, but I got to tell you, you got to partner in business with the right people. On the ministry side of Christian.com, but on the AI side, John has always been a step ahead. He's always doing crypto before anybody else is doing it. He's been out of crypto for 10 years, to give you an idea. I mean, he's always a step ahead of the game. When he started looking at this AI thing, I got really excited because I realized we need a team of people like John, willing to do what needs to be done for the church at large. Ladies and gentlemen, John Pretto.
Give me a second to turn on my deck, folks. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, here we go. Warning. What's coming won't be able to be stopped. It may be our demise. Technology is advancing at a staggering rate, not only replacing things, but ultimately replace people. The end is near. Who said that? That was a quote. I went the wrong way. That was a quote from portraits painters in 1820, taking their business. Same thing's happening with AI right now. Everybody's fearful that AI is taking their job away, right? Okay, this is as hard as today's going to be. This is definition because you guys are hearing all this in the news, right? And I thought that this chart would clean things up real quick. So there's the intersection of artificial intelligence, machine learning, computer vision, biometrics, and sensors. Hard to see. But machine learning includes things like GPT 3 and 3.5 and 4, called the LLMs. BARD, Midjourney, Claude 2 is another big one. Those are all a subset within artificial intelligence. What's coming next is artificial general intelligence. That's when the AIs become or greater than human beings, and that's when it gets really scary. And that, we think, is about 10 years away from happening. So we got 10 years to that happening. This is a quick, I'm not going to go over this whole entire timeline, but AI has been worked on since the 50s with Alan Turing. You might have heard the Turing test. That was developed in the 50s, but a couple of major points on this chart here. So, 1997, Deep Blue beat Kasparov. Any chess players? Nobody's plays chess anymore. Chess has never been as big as it's ever been right now. Even with computers solving chess, so the top computers are better than any human on the planet. My suggestion. Couple that are interesting ones. This is the big 2017. Oh, I can see it there. 2017, Google publishes a paper called "Attention is All You Need." They developed a transformer. The T in GPT is transformer. This was a new neural network, a new methodology that created this whole marketplace, and it was invented by Google. And the guys from OpenAI took that technology and created ChatGPT based upon that paper, written in 2017. 2022 was the year that everything started to come to fruition because several of the AIs that you heard of, Dolly is part of OpenAI, July, Midjourney, and November of 2022 is when ChatGPT was released. This is what the media wants you to believe about AI. Pause, AI development isn't enough, we need to shut it all down. Should we drive over to Switch and turn all the servers off? You know those big buildings over there? New York Times, the godfather of AI leaves Google, warns of danger, that just happened. And San Francisco, some people wonder when AI will kill us all. I'm going to go over the good and the bad. Here's some of the bad things. Michael just talked about this deep fakes. And so it was about 2 to 5 minutes of your video. If you post a video on YouTube, or if your kids post something on TikTok or Instagram, I can take that video footage or your audio and I can create a deep fake. So 2 weeks ago I presented at Rotary, wouldn't you know, this gal raises her hand up and she said, I just got a call from somebody that said that they were mined up and they needed $9,000. Just happened. This is happening as we speak. Job loss. There's going to be job loss. I think of the typing pool back in when did they have typing pools? 50s, 60s, right? So when word processors came to fruition, all those jobs they're going to be transferred to new jobs. Persuasion. Persuasion is interesting because I'll be talking to my wife about something and all of a sudden it pops up on my Facebook page. AI is even going to get worse. Disinformation, elections next year, just wait till you see what's going to happen. End of humanity. And hence, this picture. Now the good. I'll walk over to this side, the good. Productivity up. That's really the whole need of my presentation today, is productivity. We're going to go over how AI can be used in your company for productivity increases. Breakthroughs, amazing breakthroughs happening in healthcare. There's already some stuff where they folded all the proteins. If you guys, DeepMind, which is part of Google, did that back about 4 years ago. Material sciences, better batteries, better solar panels, all because of AI coming. GDP up, significant GDP increases because of AI by the end of the decade in the trillions of dollars. Education, Khan Academy. Anybody use Khan Academy here? No. Khan Academy. Okay, well, that's Khan Academy. Khan Academy is funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It's probably the best online tutorial site on the planet. He did a TED Talk about a month ago, and I urge you to go watch this TED Talk. Khan Academy TED Talk, you'll find it. Your kids or yourself will have access to the best trainers on the planet. That's one of the things that's going to happen with AI. Job creation, those jobs that are lost, there'll be new jobs created. And I think there's one more. Cambrian explosion, right? So why is all this happening right now? There's 3 things that has happened within the last few years to cause this to happen. Transformers, invented in what year? You guys pay attention? 2017. Developed by Google. The T, GPT stands for transformer. That's a new neural network, a new method of a neural network that was invented by Google in 2017. Big data, big models, all the information on the internet. So OpenAI went out and scoured every page they could get access to on the internet to build GPT. And then supercomputers, NVIDIA. Hopefully we have some shareholders of NVIDIA here. Shareholders of NVIDIA? Good for you. They created some amazing computers that generate and calculate these transformers and these data centers that are being built by NVIDIA and the cards that NVIDIA now is the fourth most valuable company on the planet, in the trillions of dollars market cap. What's that? It's an algorithm for AI. It's how the algorithm works, the neural network. It's a computer algorithm. VC money flow. So this slide here is going to go through. These are all the deals that has happened over the last 4-month period. This is the enterprise money flow. So big money going in on both sides of the house. 50 billion invested in VC money by 2025, and $230 billion by enterprises by 2025. Companies are spending big money. As we speak, Salesforce.com, any Salesforce users in here? They're having their event right now as we speak. This whole week has been nothing but AI. Their product is called Einstein. Everything that they do is going to be based on AI in the future. Significant money going in. Okay, so here's what how many users of GPT do we have in the room? Okay, this is what the interface looks like on a computer in gray. The other one is what it looks like on the phone. That was just released about 2 months ago. And so this interface comes to your phone, and you can talk to that one, which is nice. The one on the desktop, you type in, it's got a little field on the bottom, you can't see it, but you ask it a question. GPT is conversational. It's not pulling stuff out of the database. You talk to this thing, right? And so there's a big difference between ChatGPT 3.5 and GPT-4 costs $20 a month. I highly suggest you pay the $20 because it's significantly better. The paid version is significantly better. Okay, so as an example, I would type in there, please write a bill of sale for an automobile in the state of Nevada, and there's the contract. So we don't need Bob anymore. Are you using GPT right now?
I'm familiar with it, but I'm not using it all.
Yeah, you will. You will. And this isn't just one time. I can continue to ask it questions to refine this bill of sale to print out. So it'll be a good day when we spend less time talking to our attorneys. Sorry about that. What can I do with GPT? Well, it speaks in 26 different languages. So anything that you type into it, it will immediately convert into 26 languages if you want. It talks in 40 different computer languages. So it's writing computer code right now. All my computer buddies are using ChatGPT to write code. Write a poem. My wife's birthday is December 16th, and ChatGPT came out November 30th. I thought this is great. I'll write my wife a nice poem for her birthday. It comes out with this giant poem. I put it in a fancy envelope, nice paper. She opens it up, she says, "Who wrote it?" Busted. I edited it. Songs, legal agreements, write programs, write business plans, recipes, grant proposals, sales copy, fantastic. Lesson plans, research papers. I use it every day. Every one of my communications, every one of my emails that goes out goes through GPT. It's great for grammar and spell check. Hallucinations. My attorney made me put this slide in. So it goes off the rails sometimes. Every time I get a new version of an LLM, large language model, I give it this question. When I was born, my mother was in France and my father was in the United States. Where was I born? You're smarter than GPT-4. It says, based on the information you provided, it's not possible to determine where you were born. The place of birth would depend on blah, 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 blah. There was a famous case, Bob probably knows of this, down in Texas, where somebody was using GPT to do research. It created 4 cases that were completely made up by GPT, and the judge went through. So you got to be very careful. What I do is I'll run my query or my question through 3 different ones: Bard, Google Bard, GPT, and Claude, and then I'll compare them against each other. Claude's free, Bard's free, GPT-4 is $20 a month, but I found I get the best results if I do that. Here is OpenAI. We talked about OpenAI. They're the company that created ChatGPT, founded in 2015. One of their founders was Elon Musk. So Elon Musk got together with the other principals of OpenAI. They were scared that Google was going to unleash all this technology and own it all. And so they created a company called OpenAI. OpenAI, because they wanted it to be open source and freely available to everybody. Until Microsoft came knocking on their door to give them $10 billion from the Senate. Now they're not open anymore. They should be called closed AI. And that's what Elon, if you see Elon talk about OpenAI, he'll tell you the story of why he's so mad at these guys. So Microsoft now owns 50% of OpenAI, but this little graph shows their development of their product. 2018 launched GPT-1 and launched GPT-14 in 2023 this year. And this shows the size of the algorithms and how fast it's growing exponentially. GPT passes exams. On their white paper, they showed about 30 different exams that GPT has taken. It scored in the 90th percentile in the bar exam. SAT 1410 combined. And my favorite one, the sommelier, the intro, the certified, and the advanced. That's all of those exams. So I do a little robot with it last time. Okay, so that's GPT. The next big one is called Midjourney. This is text to image. Anybody know about Midjourney? Somebody does. Yes. So Midjourney is a great application for you to type something in, and it will give you an image out. I'm going to show you some examples of that. Most of you guys have created a PowerPoint, and you needed a particular image, and you've gone out to one of the stock photography places, and you paid for an image. No longer. That's a perfect use for Midjourney. So, as an example, this is what the interface looks like. Just like GPT, on the bottom, it's got a little text box down there. And I typed in a smiling, human-faced robot drinking a fine glass of red wine, photorealistic. It gives you 4 different versions of the robot. I like the one on the bottom right. And so I made them a little bit bigger, and there's the robot. And that's fully generated by AI. It's a little better than my robot, I don't know. These images are all generated by AI. These are not photographs, these are not paintings. These are me typing in and getting these images. They're absolutely spectacular. And there's several of these out there. Midjourney is the best one. That's not a photo. Generated by Midjourney. And so one of the ones I was typing in, it's coming up next. You can tell it to paint in the form of like impressionistic or Van Gogh or any of the artists that will give you an image based upon that style. It's amazing. This one right here, I said, wow, this reminds me of a picture. What does that look like? Somebody said in the back. That looks like the Afghan girl from National Geographic. Not inspired by National Geographic. I typed in this prompt, detailed realistic photo of a Bedouin woman in the desert, and it produced that photo. Absolutely amazing technology. Midjourney has over 10 million users. At any one time, there's about 2 million people online generating images they've done, I can't remember the number, 500 million images generated in about a year's time. So I thought, let me take Elvis and Marilyn Monroe and create a love child. And that's what Midjourney thinks that their love child would look like. So I was sitting at Curry's wine bar, and I was sitting with this very nice couple, and they've been married for like 25 years. They never had a baby together. So I took a picture of each one of them, ran it through Midjourney, showed the picture, and the gal started crying. She says, that looks exactly like my niece. And so I also did this at Gorman at a reunion. I took, they have that page with that prettiest eyes and all that. I took those and created love children out of all those things. Pretty cool. I thought that this was clever. So this guy printed out, generated this image, printed out large format, and put this in the bedroom of his daughter's bedroom. Thought that was a cool use of the technology. Okay, I'm going to show you some stuff from Adobe Photoshop. We've got some Photoshop people here in the audience. Now, if I wanted to remove this bicycle from this image with Photoshop, it would take about 30 minutes in the old days, before AI. With AI, I circle a bike and it's gone. This is huge, huge time saver, productivity increase in Photoshop, which is in beta right now, just getting ready to come out. This is another amazing use of Photoshop that's in beta. So this particular image, the real image there is outlined in white. That's the photograph. And then I took it in and I said, expand this picture, and AI drew both those corners expanded. Absolutely amazing technology. This is coming on the market soon. So what's coming next with AI? Video, so you're going to be able to type it in, it's going to create videos for you. 3D objects, video animated 3D objects, and agents. Agents are interesting because you can have the AI go out and do something. So create a Shopify store, go out and find all the best-selling items on Amazon, create an advertising campaign, go out and create comments, do that until $1 million. That's the kind of things that you're going to be able to program with agents coming soon from AI. This is super interesting. So Autodesk, if we have any engineers in here, or architects, they showed this technology about 6 years ago. And this is going to be built into Autodesk and AutoCAD. And the design goal here is lightweight, design a lightweight, strong, cheap to manufacture, four-propeller drone frame. And it goes through and iterates thousands of designs to meet those design goals.
Wow.
And this is absolutely amazing technology. And what's amazing is the designs that they print out are very organic in nature. And these are super lightweight, super strong parts that are created by generative design, which you'll hear more about. Okay, so here's the real need of the organization. What do I do with this if I own a company? AI is the kind of the wheel, or the grease, for every one of the departments in your business organization. And each one of these departments is a footnote here at the bottom of recent studies that I have found. This one comes from the NN Group. And so by adding AI in the Human Resource Department for recruitment, for interview questions, for job descriptions. I had my internet company that we started here in Las Vegas. We had 150 employees. My HR director always used to walk in my office, and I had to write job descriptions. And boy, was that a pain, right? And now GPT does these in a snap. Huge productivity increase. Reviews, promotions, and layoffs. AI content creation for training. Michael knows this well. So 80% of companies that try to create training programs fail because it's very difficult to create the content for training. And so using AI to create content now facilitates that process. 66% productivity gains in the HR department using AI. Next one, there's about 8 of these. Marketing department, strategic planning and research. public relations, analytics, pre-biz, branding, sales, marketing, support, all that kind of activity. 20% gain in marketing using AI. Customer service, I've seen lots of movement in customer service, significant AI applications. You're very rarely going to be able to talk to somebody in customer service. You're going to be talking to a bot, a chat bot, and they're going to be good. They're not going to be like the ones that you're familiar with. They're going to be good. Advanced chatbots, automated voice responses, all those voices, you're going to be talking to robots. You're not going to be talking to real people. Decreased call times, data analytics, 50% enforced productivity gains inside the customer support department. Finance and accounting, forecasting, tax preparation is a big one. It's going to be great for tax preparation. Accounting assistance, fraud detection is another big one. 15% gains in the finance department. Sales. Salesforce.com is happening right now. I'm told that they've got some amazing stuff to go out for farming your existing database of people, or going out for lead generation. It's going to be another one. So it's going to have AI-based bots that go out and scour the internet and look for new leads, lead generation. Appointment bookings, increased sales conversion. Very good at writing sales copy. So whatever you're trying to sell on your brochure or your landing pages, fantastic for that kind of stuff. Very persuasive chatbots to help you sell. 50% gains in the sales department. IT, boy, MGM could use this one right now, couldn't it? Where this comes from World Economic Forum, IT cybersecurity, generative AI for text, for writing, data mining, IT ticketing resolutions, monitoring and optimization. 20% gains in the IT department, just got a few more. Legal department, come on, Bob. Research, drafting, document management. Analysis and review. Chatbot for case review. Only 15% gains in the legal department right now. They're getting better. Security and safety, surveillance departments. I used to be in the video surveillance business. The stuff that they're doing in video surveillance is absolutely amazing. My car got stolen on Saturday. And I went to the police department in Henderson. They asked me what my license plate was. He brings up my car. He says, oh, we have hundreds of cameras all over, taking pictures of your car with your license plate right now. And he pulled up my car right in front of me. It was amazing. Tons of stuff that's going on in AI and video surveillance. Object tracking, there you go. Pattern analysis, investigations, facial recognition and tracking, all over the place. 20% gains in security department. Okay, if we take each one of the departments, productivity gains that we just went over in the middle column there, productivity gains, now they're individual contributions to the overall company. So there's 8 there, so it's 1 over 8. So 12% contribution to overall multiplied by productivity gain, 28% productivity performance from AI. Who wants 28% productivity gain in their company? If you don't, your customer wants it. And that is my time. So there's actually 3 things I want to close with. Think of AI as an assistant, a co-pilot, or a web. We talked about this earlier. Microsoft has trademarked co-pilot. Every product that Microsoft is integrating in, and they're integrating AI into every one of their products. Word, Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, all has AI integrated into the applications right now. Duet is the name that Google's going to use for AI. They don't want you to think of AI replacing humans. They want it to be an assistant, a co-pilot, by Duet. Find an internal or external resource to start implementing now, or your competitors will. And thank you very much for my time.
We have allowed some time for some questions for John, and I'm sure Michael too, if you have questions for him. Can you ask about? There's something that you don't know that he said? Yes, and then Janine here from our board is going to take the mic, so you'll raise your hand high if you have questions, but the first question will be from Michael.
Real quick, my email is john@christian.com. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any question, or if you have any concern, feel free to reach out on the email all day.
The only John and Michael in the world that Christian have. Hey, one of the things that we left out of this presentation, but I think you all want to think about is your business valuation. So if you guys are here exiting, only 13% of people actually exit. The radical increase in your business valuation by including AI fundamentals in your business is day and night difference. So I want you to think about that, even as you're building businesses. Right now, one of my portfolio group companies, we started off, we projected $6 million in annual revenue. We're 14 months in. We hit 12 million. Because we added AI to it, we got a valuation the other day of $100 million on a startup. That's the power of leveraging this early and being an early adapter. Just want to encourage you.
John, when it comes, and I am not a techie geek, I'm very basic. I've turned my Google search thing, I keep it in incognito mode. Am I just wasting my time having it in incognito mode? Because, you know what I'm asking, if I have it in incognito, but another guy's cyber security, all they have to do is say, don't bother with her incognito mode.
Incognito mode is great if you don't want your family or your spouse to know what you're browsing, because it doesn't say what it is. Transmitting over the internet, your ISP, Cox, or LBNet, or any of those guys still know what you're watching and looking at over the web. You could use a VPN, and it would be more secure.
I use ChatGPT quite a bit. Well, what's the big difference between the paid version? Is the paid version current 2023? Because I heard the original one is like outdated till 2020 or something like that.
Great question. I should have covered this. So the paid version goes through September of 2021. There's a plugin that adds into Bing search, so it gives you up everything current. That's only available on the paid version.
How much is that plug-in?
Yeah. Paid version. Plugin. Bing plugin. Great question.
Hi, Bob Diaz. When you mentioned Autodesk products, AutoCAD. Now, I know I've been teaching AutoCAD since 1989, so I'm more than familiar that they were doing that, but all of the other Autodesk products, such as Fusion 360, Revit that does architectural stuff,
Yeah.
they're going to do that.
100%.
Yeah. So they're having a conference here next month. I'm going to ask them a lot about that. So
100%. I expect to see great things out of that.
yeah, and also we're getting into advanced manufacturing with Industry 4.0 and robotics things going on, because the skills and the people retiring from machinists, they're not being replaced. So we're trying to develop a program here at CSN to get those skills up and people ready, because Haas CNC is building a plant here in Las Vegas, or Henderson actually, and they're going to need a lot.
Fantastic.
This is kind of a funny question to ask you, but how do you see God tying into AI?
So hopefully this is part one and part two. We have a part two of this, and that's exactly what Michael's next presentation is going to be, based upon what Robin tells us our next day is. Great question. I watch your videos all the time live on your live broadcast. Fantastic. Sorry for picking on you a little bit.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand this better. Is this thing just searching through all the information that's already on the internet, or are people actually actively putting things into search?
It's a great question. So GPT, generative pre-trained transformer, it takes information from the web and it's trained on existing information on the web. So AGI, which is coming in 10 years from now, will be equivalent to a human, which will be a completely different story. It will learn on its own. Everything that you do on ChatGPT, it's guessing what the next word is in a sentence. So it's trained upon a corpus of data that's farmed off the web. Good question.
Two quick questions. If you have an illegal document done, we still need to have a lawyer look over it?
100%. For the easy stuff, I use GPT a lot for the easier stuff, and then I send it to my attorney. So it saves time.
And also, how do you know if when you create something that GPT isn't stealing from some other influence?
Boy, that's a can of worms you just opened up right now. There's lots of lawsuits going right now because people think that their information is being a copyright violation. There's about eight cases I know myself. And it doesn't exactly copy. It uses it as reference to generate a guess of what's coming next. And so I think they're going to lose that case. But there's upcoming court cases to answer that question. Great question.
I have a couple of things. According to an AI thing, and I'm not a negative person, but I see some things as being, we want more, quicker, and faster. Okay, and that's part of the AI thing that I see. I see the good side of AI, but is there some way that this may have to be regulated, and by whom, in order to keep things right? And one more thing, I read an article the other day about AI generating false scriptures, and people reading the false scriptures who don't know the Word of God and start believing in this false scripture where the Word of God is clear, and there's a lot there that I don't understand, but the Lord tells me to beware, watch yourself. And so those are some issues I have with some of this, not all of it.
I'll take the first part. Michael will answer the second part. So Elon Musk and other leaders of AI are in Washington yesterday, and there's going to be regulation. I'll tell you one easy one that we see coming out. All these images that I showed you, those will be watermarked as AI. So any artwork that's generated or any image that's generated will have a built-in watermark to let people know that it's been generated by an AI. That's a no-brainer. How it's going to be regulated and how it should be regulated and who's going to do it, that's a tough question.
And touching on Bob's question as well, it's my inclination that this is absolutely going to be the infrastructure of the Antichrist in a one world global system. No matter where you're at in eschatology, don't care to debate you, just want you to know that's what I think. And that's what we're preparing global ministries for. At the same time, talk about positive. Imagine every founding father. Imagine the first 4 centuries. Imagine all of their writings. Imagine being able to access the deepest minds in all of Christendom at the touch of a button, and then filtering through that to get some of the deepest connections with God possible. At the bottom of Christian.com right now, we have a search feature, partially, secretly, AI enhanced. And what it does is it goes all over the world, says, oh, you want to do suicide. And then we find out you're in an Islam country. Then we find out you're in Iraq. And then we filter you through an underground church member that you can actually meet. And glory to God, we had over 10,000 Muslims get saved November of last year alone. This stuff can be used by the kingdom of God. And it's going to take rock star entrepreneurs stepping up their game and getting in the game for real.
We have time for one more question. Anybody have a question?
Let's please give it up for John Pretto. Thank you, John. Michael, thank you. Well, can they, the people that are here today, and maybe others who weren't able to come, can they reach out to you both, maybe by email? There's John's email right there. Michael's, is yours also Michael? Michael@Christian.com and John@Christian.com. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. What a way to kick off our 20th year. So thank you. Yeah.